And also, by the way, just a little bit of fun fruit knowledge here. So in the text, the figs are said to be the size of watermelons. And I was like, okay, that can't be the size of what we know of as a watermelon. I mean, I guess I don't know what it's like in your guys' area, but usually around here, watermelons in the supermarket are like, they're pretty big. They're like 20, 30 pounds. Watermelon are wonderful fruits. I love watermelon. But I was like, they definitely did not have the fruit in the 6th century that we have today. And they didn't. The thing about modern produce is that a lot of it has been not just like genetically modified in a lab, but genetically selected for. Humans have been genetically selecting the fruits we like best for millennia. So I was like, would this person have even known what a watermelon is? And it turns out they probably did. Definitely not as cool as the watermelon today, but watermelon are likely descended from the Kordofan melon, which is much smaller. It's like this big. Much smaller and less sweet and a lot seedier. I'm gonna show you guys a picture. We don't have a lot of records of what fruit looked like in the past. Some people painted fruit, but other than that, we just don't really know. Because fruit does not last that long, mostly, and we don't have any fossils. There are some depictions of what look like watermelon in Egyptian tombs, though. The ancient Egyptians, and this dude's like a 6th century Egyptian, the ancient Egyptians were cultivating watermelon. They loved watermelon. I mean, I don't blame them. Watermelon is amazing, and it wasn't even as good as it is today. This is a picture from, I believe, the 17th century, a painting by Giovanni Stanchi. It's called Watermelons, Peaches, Pears, and Other Fruit in a Landscape. And this dude was just painting watermelon, but look at the watermelon in the picture and consider the differences between this one and the watermelon you might have seen in your life, because it does not look the same. See how it's all sectioned off? The watermelon that we have today is mostly the flesh of the fruit, the pink stuff. The earliest watermelons and the Kordofan melons actually have white flesh instead of red or pink. And that's because they have an enzyme that breaks down that lycopene that gives it the red or pink color. The watermelon nowadays that is red or pink does not have that enzyme, which can actually be a good thing because lycopene is a good nutrient for us as humans. But look at that. There's a lot less of the actual like pink flesh in the fruit. It's got less of the edible fruit part that we enjoy today. So we have come a long way. So I figure the watermelon size figs, the author of this book probably did not know the watermelons that we know today. However, yes, exactly. Bananas used to have way bigger seeds. Cows are not fruit. But we have genetically selected for livestock as well. Anyway, I just wanted to go off about watermelons for a bit. Can you eat? Actually, you can. The seeds in ancient times were probably baked and eaten, and people seem to like them a lot. But also, their standard for delicious was a lot lower back then. Like, now we have Doritos. I'm pretty sure if you gave an ancient Egyptian a single Dorito, they would die from nacho cheese overdose. I'm not a doctor. I don't know if they would actually die. I asked ChatGPT once, and she said that a Victorian orphan probably wouldn't die, but it would be a lot. Anyway, quadrupled. Yes, exactly! We have genetically selected for pretty much all of our food. Even before we have, like, gene editing, people have been genetically selecting for whichever food they liked best. That's just what people have been doing for millennia. Because humans like food. So does pretty much every other animal. Tomatoes, okay, the culinary fruits and vegetables are not the biological fruits and vegetables. A fruit is just the part of the plants that contains the seeds. It's like the reproductive organ of the plant. The fruit is just, it just contains the seeds. Biologically, there is no such thing as a vegetable. Vegetables might be like the roots or another part of the plant, but fruit in biology vocabulary is different from culinary vocabulary. They are two different concepts. Anyway, the point is, the watermelon was probably not as big as the ones we have today. However, Egyptians have been cultivating them since 4300 BC, at least, because we've seen pictures of them in like pharaoh tombs. Anyway, the Kordofan melon originally probably came from like northeastern Africa, which is not that far from Egypt. They were about a quarter of the size of commercially available watermelons and is not as sweet and has white flesh instead of pink. Long story short, the author of this probably did not know watermelons like we know watermelons today, but probably considered them they were more like the size of a small cantaloupe. So just know that when he says the figs are the size of watermelons, he means like 5 to 10 pounds max of fruit, and not the ones in the grocery store that are hard to lift. How do I like cantaloupes? Cantaloupe. Without disease in them? I don't know. I like cantaloupe just plain. Anyway, that is just a guess. I don't know exactly the author's experience with watermelon, but I just wanted to point out that little detail because I'm pretentious and I stopped reading and taking notes to research watermelon for you guys. You're welcome. Watermelon's amazing. Eat fruit. Unless you're allergic, then that sucks. You're welcome. Sidetracked? When am I not sidetracked? Anyway, so the figs are big.